Mike, aka M_Breezy.
Howdy.
And last but in no way least, Scott, aka
Howdy.
Saka 100. And last, how's everybody doing?
Bit under the weather.
Yeah, you look
bad.
What makes you say that, mate?
I just feel a bit green.
So I don't know if anybody's noticed out there. I'm sure they may have, but all of us, well, most of us, appear to be dressed up. That's because we've decided to go for Halloween theme. With Halloween being right around the corner, i.e., tomorrow, we decided to do a Halloween theme podcast, and everybody decided to dress up. Some of us put in a little bit more effort than others, as I'm sure you can see.
There is a costume. I'm gonna go put on.
Right.
I'll be about 2 minutes. So just carry on, and I'll be back.
Actually, to be fair, this makes sense since desperate need for attention. This works.
Five quid says he comes back in a lacy maid's outfit. Something he's bought from Amazon specifically for this.
Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
I like that.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
Nice.
All of our
I fucking hate
decorations
Halloween.
are over there. So
I really hate Halloween. It's really not. It's such just a nothing holiday. Like, fuck. I don't like kids. I don't want them knocking on my door asking for sweets. I've got bills. Do you know how much a multi-pack of fucking Mars bars is? It's not cheap. I want to eat those Mars bars. That's what I don't like about Halloween, to be fair. It's not that I don't like Halloween. I'm quite happy for people to like decorate their houses and, fancy dress parties and stuff are fun. I just don't want unsolicited strangers knocking at my fucking house asking me for sweets and shit. You know what I mean? I want to eat the sweets.
This is why I'm glad I live on a first ground floor of a flat rather than having like people have direct access to my front door.
Realistically, anyway.
Yeah.
Due to COVID, most likely not.
No, probably not. No, probably not.
I don't know though, because we're not up here. It's we're still tier 2, and I don't know if people will like maybe just knock kind of locally or whatever.
Medium. I kind of do it to like Nando's sauces. Medium, hot, very hot.
Yeah. We want to go down to what was it, mango and lime? That's what
lemon and herb. Lemon and herb is what we want.
Plain. Has anyone ever got into a Nando's and ordered a plain chicken? Because that's an option. Has anyone ever done that in the history of Nando's?
I actually know someone who has
just a plain pizza. What's wrong with them? Are they a sociopath or?
Pretty much.
Fucking.
I'm worried about this. This boy's.
Unbelievable. Oh, here we go.
I see some sort of wig.
Oh god, I saw it. He's going to be some sort of furry or some shit. I'm fairly sure.
Is he in a gorilla?
How is this? Is it a bear costume? Or is it a gorilla costume?
Oh.
He's dragging this out.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Yes, please.
Are you going to be able to sit down at that?
That's fantastic. That is absolutely...
I didn't really think about the logistics of this costume.
Oh god. You alright there, Bleach, mate?
Is it a bit? Alright, fair enough. You've got that.
Yeah, fair play. I take back everything I said. I take back everything I said before.
Oh my lord.
Jesus Christ.
You
that is a high quality outfit.
The logistics of how I'm actually going to sit down.
You're going to have to like lay down on the bed.
Respect.
It's going to be like a babe station. Bleach can be laying on the bed dressed as a bear.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is even happening? God, it's like
finding out. Oh, he's putting his hands Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you know what? I think Bleach has taken it, I think.
Yeah, I think he's won.
I
think he's won the costume contest.
This cost me like 30 quid.
30 quid?
I mean, I don't know if I'd pay 30 quid for that.
There he is.
Oh, Christ. Oh, I love it.
Hello.
Absolutely love it. And I was sitting here complaining that I'm hot in this. Christ, Bleach is going to be steamed by the end of this.
Yeah, that's just going to be like a
Really
foggy
edible in there.
screen by the end of this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm fully expecting just this to turn into an absolute
You're
nightmare
sitting there
halfway through.
sweating.
But
You can see the condensation when he speaks.
He's going to weigh 3 stone less when he gets out of that thing at the end of this. He's going to sweat it out. He's going to go limp and fall off his chair. We're going to have to call
Imagine someone clicking on this. Imagine someone stumbling across this for the first time and just seeing that.
help me.
Fucking ridiculous.
Oh, fucking hell. So, right, with that over and done with, how's everybody been? How's everybody's week's been? Anybody been up to anything interesting? Got any stories to share?
I could be better, mate. I
Why is
got-
that?
I got banned on Rocket League yesterday
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh, did you?
for 72 hours.
Yeah,
You called someone a C in extruder, didn't you?
we're-
Dropping the C-bomb.
I mean,
And that's what got you banned for 3 days.
it was a very like long and heavy C bomb.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
yeah,
you
we literally played for about an hour. We won a game. Bleach came saying Bleach has left the match. He just went, "Oh, I've been banned." So Bleach can't play
hell.
Rocket League now until Monday.
No.
Nice. Unless you want to make a Smurf account, it's free now.
Yeah. So let that be a lesson to everyone. Don't swear it. Don't swear at people on Rocket League because someone will report you and you'll get banned.
I mean,
he
how
had a
long have you
really
been
good
playing
run,
Rocket League
let's
for,
be
though,
honest,
Bleach?
like,
Yeah. To be fair, I'm
Because
surprised
he's
it took you
been
this
calling
long.
people-
Oh, yeah, so am
a
I.
lot of
Like
bad
honestly,
stuff, you know.
I feel like they've been slacking on like how long it's taken them to actually like reprimand me for my language.
are we
Okay.
all out of sync?
Fucking hell.
On my screen, it seems like we are all in sync.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
We're fine.
Cool. No worries,
Yeah,
that's
we're
fine.
fine.
Then.
Don't worry about it.
Bloody hell.
Well, we just have to crack on, I guess.
That'll be fine.
So yeah, apart from Bleach being banned from Rocket League, anybody had anything interesting happen? Anybody got any stories they want to share?
I'm still at home all the time. I
Any
played.
particular reason, Mike, for that? Or...
Just a loner.
I'm not allowed to leave the house looking like this. I've been like this since Monday.
Yeah, I think
But,
Mike might have COVID.
But no,
Same.
yeah, gave Layers of Fear 2 a go for the first time.
Nice.
I'll give you my thoughts on that a bit later. I watched Hereditary for the first time. I'll give you my thoughts on that a bit later.
Nice. All right. Well, moving on from there, Bleach. You earlier in the week you sent us all a link to something. I believe it's called. Was it Rice
Oh
Purity?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
So
the
did you wanna
Rice
kinda-
Purity test.
Yeah. Do you want to fill us in on exactly what this is?
So the Rice Purity test is basically a test to show you how pure you are, when in like actuality, it's to see basically the lower the number you get is how much of a scumbag you actually are. So if you get a high number, you're like you're like you're known to be pure of heart. So
How does
Okay.
How does that work though? Because as someone who did the quiz
listen
and
in,
the things that they ask you, how does the highest score you get mean?
so the higher the points you get is
I guess what they do is you start with like 100 points or whatever, and for
it's-
every
it's like-
box
it's
you
like
tick,
golf,
it takes
essentially.
away points.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. So it doesn't add points on for everything you answered.
no. So you start with 100, and then the more you tick off, the lower.
Yeah.
your number
I wasn't
I
like
didn't
that.
pay attention to that part. So that's
But I can
No,
judge it from who's
Anyway,
the
we
biggest
discuss this.
scumbag. Go
Yeah.
on.
Hayden, what score did you get?
I'm scared now.
Okay.
I got 38.
Okay, Mike, what about you?
I got 46.
Bleach got 0. We know that.
I got 19.
Jesus
I
Christ!
don't think anybody's really that shocked, are they? Anybody who knows you?
Did you tell? Were you completely honest, or did you tell some porcupines?
Oh, I was completely honest. There was a couple where I was a bit hesitant, so I just said no. But basically, it's evidence that
Sorry, your face in that fucking window.
I can't take you seriously. I
Christ.
can't look at you.
listen, guys, just bear with me here, okay? Just bear with me.
God's sake.
So I
Yeah,
don't think
okay.
we're anybody's shocked that you're the most scummy out of all of us, Bleach. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, I find that really offensive. Like, I know I've just been banned on Rocket League, but you really don't have to put me on blast like that. That's just really fucking rude.
I mean, you took the quiz, man. I think you put yourself on blast.
Yeah,
really.
to be fair, you say I set yourself up.
I
For...
wasn't expecting you guys to be so such big fucking losers.
Have you not met us? You not know who we
How
are?
is this a surprise to you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'd hoping that you guys were going to be fucking cool. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Well, I mean,
It's really
being cool,
fucking rude of me.
coolness is subjective, though.
Oh,
Maybe I don't subscribe
my
to your
God.
particular thought on
The whole
cool.
place.
He's calling us not cool. This is the guy coming from sitting in a fucking bear costume. Like,
Yeah,
it is
fucking
pretty
sick.
cool. I can't
I'll be
lie.
honest. I think it's my favourite costume out of all of them.
yeah, no, it's fair.
I am getting more reports that
It's
we
very,
are
very true.
out of sync, which is worrying.
We're a little out of sync.
We are fine on.
Might be like a Twitch issue.
Maybe could be a Twitch issue.
Just one of you wanted to confirm by turning the Twitch sound on just to see if we were actually in sync with the movement of our mouths. You are miles out of sync.
Okay. You're fine. It looks like, Scott. The rest of us are fucked. I don't know.
That's a weird one. I'm happy to push on with it. Like, it's annoying, but
It's audio based anyway, so it doesn't matter too much.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I can restart it or
Okay.
end the stream and relaunch it if it makes it a bit better, possibly. But I don't know if the issues from my end or what. But if I'm coming out fine, then I don't know. It's just a bit confusing, isn't it?
I think we're fine because it's mainly going to be audio based, so we're not. It doesn't matter too much, I don't think.
Let's just press on. Let's press on. We can sort it out for like next week or whatever. We can do some test streams or whatever and sort it out.
apologies,
Really?
everyone.
Yeah, apologies for the technical
one of
errors.
Just one of those things. Can't be helped.
If you're new to the podcast, you can expect this on a regular basis. So with the rice purity thing out the way, being Halloween themed, I thought maybe we could tell some old stories about. Remember back in the day, everybody used to go like real life ghost hunting. Well, ghost hunting. We weren't rolling around with EMF readers and fucking UV light. No, I wasn't.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What were you doing? We were taking it fucking seriously. I love how your coaster was just stuck to the bottom of your glasses then as well.
I know it happens every time, and like it falls off and it's smashing everywhere. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, no, that was the thing that actually happened, wasn't it? We I can't remember how it started. Was it just a case of we were just because for those who obviously wouldn't know, when we were all working shit jobs and a lot of free time on our hands, we used to hang out in like grab a couple of cars, go hang out in Tesco's car park.
Our own cars, like people would drive.
Yeah.
We weren't stealing cars.
No,
we wouldn't go and grab a couple down the street and fuck off to a car park.
No, but we got into the conversation, didn't we, of like any like haunted spots near us because we were all at the time Essex based, and we got into the conversation about like, oh, is there any spots near us that are haunted? I'm trying so hard to focus on what I'm saying, but I'm just getting distracted by the bear that's above me right now.
I know.
But yeah, and we pretty much we picked like 2 or 3 places that were pretty well known, and then decided to go check out for ourselves. And yeah, it was interesting to say the least, I'd say.
What were the spots? I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't there most of the time. So, this is as much a story for me as it is for everybody else.
I think we went on Google. It was just a quick swift Google search before we started going, like taking a drive down there. But, there was one by Epping Forest. There was a church down there, which we kind of
I remember that one.
Into Stock Church, which was the disappearing church because we went back there a second time and it was gone.
Fucking hell.
Oh, there was one more as well.
The ghost had taken the church with them. Was it ever really there? That's the question. Did you all have
it was in the middle of nowhere.
We only went twice.
And the last one, it was like a small little village.
Is that Hangman's Hill or?
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
went
we
there
did
like
Hangman's Hill, and
couple of
there
times,
was
didn't you,
there was
Hangman's
like
Hill?
it was
I
a
think we
weird like tiny village with a church on that side, but you couldn't really get to it properly. It was kind of not as scary as the other ones, but the Epping one and the Epping Forest we
Yeah.
tried to go into as well, but we heard. Yeah, we
Epping
heard a
Forest
lot,
is full of
lot of
actual
people
dead
there, so we
bodies,
kind of
so
backed out before we went.
Yeah, very, very quickly. It was a case of literally turned up, sat in the car for a bit, and went, "I'm not getting out."
yeah, that's one of them things where them
Yeah.
noises, they're not ghosts, they're
Yes.
drug dealers and
Squatters,
yeah,
gangsters.
God blame
So
us.
yeah. So
yeah.
out of all the places you guys went, which one would you say was the scariest?
Stock, because we went
Stock
up
and
to the
why?
windows of the church, through the graveyard at like 3:30 in the morning, and it was like literally it was just a sea of graves and then just the moonlight at the end, and it was just fucking terrifying. I think we went there twice. Was it twice? Yeah, and
It was twice, yeah.
I think it was the third time we went. We took a drive up there and it was just disappeared. It was just a field, and it was just a bit odd.
That's fucked.
And I'm like, I remember that as well because I think I was in the car with you that time, that third time. And I'm sure we definitely were going the right way. Like we triple checked and everything. I think we even had the route saved. This is like, it's not like we took a wrong turn or anything like that. But yeah, I went back then. It was just, I mean, it could well have just been knocked down. That's the most likely scenario. Because I don't think we went like once, like it wasn't like once every other week or whatever. Like, I think it was like a good like month or so before we went back the third time. So they could have just knocked it down in that time. But yeah, that was creepy. The thing is as well, it was just a church in the
Who
middle
was
of
going to
fuck
that
nowhere
church
as
was
well.
the weirdest thing. It was a bit odd. Epping Forest was that was another one. We went through the graveyard towards the church. We had noises, didn't we? So we all sprinted off.
Yeah,
You know, like the footstep with the twig branch
things.
getting snapped.
Yeah. Whereas it was,
Is
I
that a
remember,
deer or a serial
We were
killer?
like
Get the
gazelles,
fuck
just
out.
like-
It's not worth the risk.
could be
The
both.
fuck out, boys.
The thing with Stock as well, for just going back to that one quickly, I remember there was just a weird atmosphere when you got there. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, so I think because it was just in the middle of nowhere and like it was really dimly lit on the insides, and it's just like it was one of them things of like I don't want to go up to the window in case I see something that's going to traumatize me for the rest of my life. But like, it was very much, like I said, the whole atmosphere of it was just terrifying, and I think it messed us all up for even though nothing actually like really happened, but like just the general area was just so.
It was like
creepy.
an old
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
Because you had to drive through it.
That's the thing as well. Yeah, it was like if you're going to go, if it was a sort of village that would host like a big satanic cult, it would be Stock. Like, do you know? Because I remember we drove into like the sort of town centre afterwards, and it was like it's one of them places just got like one pub and that's it,
Fucking hell.
and there was fucking no one around. Like
Like the
it was
Wicker,
like,
where they got Mike up in a wicker cave with bees, setting him on
But,
fire.
yeah, it's like they're all definitely fucking. They're all going around doing like some sort of cult ritual or something.
Some weird shit's going on here.
Yeah.
Fuck
But yeah,
me.
and Hangman's Hill, I remember had a bunch of like weird stories about it. Like apparently you go up it and you get like you get a sensation of falling.
It's
or
an
something.
optical illusion.
It was
of
something
a
like that,
certain
wasn't
time
it?
Where
Yeah.
you look like you're going down the hill, or is it up the hill? I can't remember. It's one of the two. But the way the sun sets and the way the view looks, it looks like you're going forward, but you're actually going backwards, or one of them two. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a similar thing to that actually on my just before my driving test. So I was sitting, so I parked up at the driving test center because I had like a lesson beforehand. I booked like a double lesson or whatever. I had a lesson beforehand. This isn't scary. This is just like optical illusion. And I'm sitting in the fucking car, and the instructor's talking to me, giving me the last minute pep speech, and I'm like, "Yeah, look, you're a perfectly good driver. You do this. You just got, all the bollocks they tell you before you take test." And I'm sitting there, I'm standing looking at him like this. Right, we're in the car. I'm saying, yeah, but I'm looking at him, and there was a car parked next to us that pulled away. And as it started moving forward slowly, I thought we were rolling back. I've never stamped on a brake so hard in my life. I thought, fuck, I'm like, let this geezer's car off right before my fucking test. Oh, Christ.
But yeah, it was just stuff like that, and we, just because obviously you read up on stuff. Because that was it. We picked those locations because we'd all read up on like certain, like they appeared in like most haunted lists and stuff like that. And so you read up the stories and you fucking go there, and obviously you're gonna shit yourself up because the first thing you think when you turn up is it's fucking ghosts here. Even if you don't necessarily believe in ghosts, which I don't, but it's like Ouija boards, isn't it? It's like everyone says, Ouija boards they aren't real. You never fuck with one though.
Oh god, no.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah, fuck that noise.
A Ouija board, you're basically asking for some shit to happen to you, even if it's not real. As Mike said, like, yeah, sure, like it's probably not going to do anything, but I'm not going to touch it because I'm not a fucking idiot at the same time.
Yeah.
If you boys turned up at my house with a Ouija board, I'd throw you the fuck out.
We made one.
Plain old shit. I've just bought this motherfucker. I don't need demonic possessions.
We made one of Mike's. And then the tap started running. Yeah.
That's enough though. That was literally it was just a piece of paper. We like mapped out the whole thing and whatnot. Got like a glass or a shot glass to be like the cursor. I don't know what you call it.
It's called a planchette.
Planchette. Ooh.
That's what they're called, I believe.
Bonjour.
Oui. I'll take two.
But yeah, it's one of them you do it and like literally like 5 seconds afterwards a tap in my kitchen just did like the biggest fucking drip noise of all time. Just like,
fuck that.
Everyone just went like, nope, fuck that. We're out of here. Fuck that.
Fuck that. I had to do jury service a few years ago. I think I was like 24, 25, something like that. And I was like the youngest person. There was me and one other guy my age, and we were like the youngest people on the jury, right? And what we were talking about this sort of stuff, and everybody was all like, "Oh, blah blah blah." And there were, like, a lot of the guys on this fucking jury, a lot of the people were like in their 40s and 50s. Like, it wasn't a young crowd. And one guy was like, "No, this is all bullshit. Watch." And it was when that whole "Charlie, Charlie, are you there?" thing was going on with the two pencils, and that was popular. And this guy was like, "No." The other guy who was like my age was like, "No, it's all bullshit." Look, and he grabbed two pencils and he started. I've never seen a group of adults react so ridiculously and so quick. There were people standing like, "No!" diving at him, trying to knock the pencils. Everyone fucking shit their pants. There was like big fucking like ripped guys there who were like, in their like early 40s and stuff. And there was me, and it was like the most diverse crowd of people. And we all shit ourselves and was smacking the pencils across the room. It's fucking crazy.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous when I look back on it now.
That's mad. Just see, we got something in the chat here from Blondie. It says, "When I'll read it verbatim." So it says, "When I was like 9, I had a friend stay over Halloween, and my mum made us a scavenger hunt in the house with candy and chocolates, and some of the clues were in the garden. So we went out with our torches in the dark, and my parents jumped from behind a tree with creepy masks. They screamed and ran back to bed." Top tier parents in there.
That's going down in the notebook. I'm going to pull that one out of the bag if I ever have a kid.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
shit them up,
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do to your children. Give them some deep-seated psychological issues in later life.
That's the thing. If you start now, right, you can if you start building it now, you could probably build your own like robotic version of the little doll from the Saw films with a little tricycle.
Oh, yeah, you could knock that out in a day, mate. That's a day's work, I reckon.
There you go. Just have that one stored away. But
right up like that.
Day comes you do have kids, you can knock that one out of the park.
So just to check with you, Bleach, are you alive? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm. Surprisingly, it's quite refreshing in here.
Your own farts.
it blows in cold air.
Yeah. Fucking hell. So how hot is it in there? Is it sauna levels yet, or this must be good for your sinuses? High humidity in there, really.
I won't lie, it's kind of relaxing. I've got like a very like gentle hum from the motor going on, so I'm just, like, enjoying some.
It's like being back in the womb.
Into this. So I feel like a fucking fart. I'm just gonna be.
It's gonna turn into like a relaxation pod or something.
Being
like that.
sick on the little window.
Fall asleep in there.
You just feel like.
That's scary.
Just the arms.
Fucking hell. Oh god! The fucked up thing is, if that happened, Bleach would be in there choking on his own vomit. We'd all just be cracking up. Like, look at him; he's having a hard time in there.
That really is
choking to death.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Speaking of ghost hunting, I've just had thought pop into my head. Do you remember the time? I think I had work. I didn't come with you because I think I had work the next day or something like that. Like I think it was when I worked at Asda, and there was saying some bullshit going on with that. And you fucking assholes decided to. Well, I didn't know this at the time. My fucking mobile phone rings at like 2 in the morning or something. Yeah, I'm asleep. My phone rings at 2 in the morning, and I answered. I was like, "What the fuck?" It was a withheld number, and I thought I'm going to answer it because, like, you know, it could be an emergency. You know, someone. I don't know. I just thought someone could be in the hospital or some shit. And I answered, "What is going on here?" What is Nick doing?
I think he's given up. It's fine.
But yeah, I answered this phone at 2 in the morning, and fucking all.
Has he? Oh, have we...
Oh no! Has his internet crapped out?
Is this
He's been possessed.
first?
He's been possessed.
Oh God.
Oh God, no! It's like Phasmophobia. It's been taken by the ghost.
So what Hayden was about to say is
okay. Great sight.
We played was it Tiptoe Through the Tulips down the phone to him just after Insidious 1 was released.
Yeah, if anyone has seen Insidious, it is obviously the bit in the film where the ghost starts coming up. That's usually the song that starts playing. It's by a guy called Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim. He looks like a freak. And
Whoa! Tiny Tim also gave us many bangers from SpongeBob SquarePants, so I will not let you fucking badmouth Tiny Tim for one more fucking second.
Have you seen what he looks like though?
How dare you? Okay, he is a national treasure.
I mean, if you want, like, I'll make that he still looks like a freak. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, and we basically this was like what 1 in the morning, I think Hayden said. Yeah, basically rang him up and just played that down the phone. Didn't say anything, and he absolutely wet himself.
Is he back?
Hello.
Oh, here he is. He's back.
Oh, don't know what
happened,
mate. There. It's the ghosts, clearly. I've been taken.
So we were just finishing off your story about when we obviously rang you up and rang you for the Insidious music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so confused. Like, don't get me wrong. At no point did I think, oh, it's the demons coming for me. I just thought, what the fuck? I should have known, really, it was you guys, obviously. I was like, who the fuck is this? I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I think I just hung up and went back to sleep.
No, because I remember you answered and you started playing. You just went, oh God.
Yeah. That was it. I was like, I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, we're good mates like that though. It makes me feel better. We didn't do that to just you. We did it to a few other people as well. I think we did it to about 3 or 4 people that night.
Thanks. So, yeah, who got the best reaction?
Probably you. There's another guy, another friend of ours. Well, a friend of ours at the time, a guy called Jack, and he reacted. He was just like, I think he just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake," and just hung the phone up. But yeah, that was good times.
But Mike, you mentioned about obviously Insidious.
Mm.
You saying that you also saw another very popular horror film quite recently?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So this was I'm quite late to the party when it comes to seeing films, especially horror films, because my missus. No, generally not. Well, sort of, but like basically my missus doesn't like horror. My missus,
the bear of truth.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. But no, basically, because my missus doesn't like horror films, so obviously going to the cinema to go see, I'm not going to go by myself and sit in a dark room and watch a horror film and then do the walk back in the dark by myself to watch a horror film. So I'm like, I'll wait. Yeah, exactly. So it's like I'll wait for it to come out and I can just watch it at home in my own time in the comfort of my own house, you know. But yeah, so 2 years late to the party, but I finally got around to watching Hereditary the other day for the first time. Yes. I don't know if any of you boys have seen it before.
I haven't, no.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 yeses and 1 no. Okay, well I'll be vague on spoilers because it is a fairly recent. Like I know it's 2 years ago, but still fairly recent. So I won't ruin the film.
I'm not too fast. I'm not like.
Well, yeah, well even so, if there's people in the chat or people watching this back later on who haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it for them.
Give them a spoiler alert. Just can delve deep.
Nah, it's fine. I want people to go watch the film because it needs to be seen, in my opinion. Like basically it is, in my opinion, best horror film I've ever seen. Like I think it's an absolute 10 out of 10. Like I don't want to watch it again. Like that. Like it's not like Endgame where I'm like, that was so good, I can't wait to watch that again. This was like, that was brilliant, and that's it. No more. Like, I'm not watching it ever again.
I never want to see it ever again in my life.
but it's a film basically about. I can't really tell you what it's about, really. But it's more of like a psychological horror film rather than like your typical sort of jump scary. Like it's not like a Paranormal Activity or anything like that. Like I think when it first came out, people compared it to or said it's like this generation's version of like The Exorcist in terms of like impact and just how like different it was. But honestly, man, like that film, like I saw it Monday, I think I watched it Monday or Tuesday, and I'm still thinking about it. Like
so you're saying that obviously people compare it to The Exorcist because like Hereditary is like it is quite a slow burn, isn't it? But like a really good payoff. Obviously, without delving into details.
I've read this. I've heard this before about it being a slow burn. I really didn't think it was like that slow paced at all. I thought it was actually paced out really well because but the reason why I think that because I think there's just from the moment the film starts, there's just this sense of just like unnerving and dread, and do you know what I mean? Like I felt uncomfortable from the moment, like from the first like the moments the film started, like because it starts off, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it starts off like with a funeral scene, so there's been a death in the main family, like in their family or whatever, and then from that once you start like meeting the main characters, you do just start getting a bit like, oh, I don't know, there's something just not right about this.
Yeah,
and then like once it proper gets going, like, and there's one scene in particular, like I'm not going to go into, but like, if you boys have seen it, I'll say it's the scene with the car. Yeah, that like. That's why I'm glad I watched it at home because I pretty much had to pause the film and just sort of sit there for like 10 minutes, just like, like hands around my face, just like I can't believe what the fuck just happened. Yeah, and the last like 20 to 30 minutes is just some of the best, like genuinely terrifying horror scenes I've ever seen. Like so good.
The thing that got me with that film was the possibility of afterwards hearing.
Yeah, that noise, man. That noise absolutely fucked. Hey, he's out. He's lasted 36 minutes, but he's out.
Nice.
It's not the heat. It's just the trying to sit down is impossible.
It's the humidity.
I was squatting the entire time.
At least now you got cars like tree trunks, so it's fine.
Everyone fucking knew that. These yams can go on for miles.
But yeah, that noise is just that will live with you for a while after saying that.
I think the scene that got me the most out of it, again, avoiding spoilers, is the attic door bit.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
It's because it's the way
kind of
she's moving.
Put
like,
me the wrong way.
It's that unnatural.
Yeah, it's not human.
It's that the old uncanny valley thing, isn't it?
But it's that as well with the way it's filmed. Like everything's done with like wide angles and whatnot. So like so after a while, you just start seeing like the just little things in the corners of rooms where you're like, is that a person or is that like
your bear's moving, mate. Your pet
I know. I left it on, so it's going to reinflate. So I'm going to have it in the background.
Fair enough. But yeah, like you can just start seeing figures of people, like silhouettes or just rough outlines of people in the back, like in the corners of rooms and stuff. To the point where like you're proper like adjusting your eyes and squinting and. Yeah, man, it's just unnerving. Like you know how like you see some films, you want to turn the lights on because you don't want to be in the dark for too long. Like that film had the biggest impact on me in terms of that because it's just like, if you're in the dark, your eyes play tricks on you. You might see someone in the corner, and it's just like after seeing that, honestly, amazing film, my favorite horror film ever. And if you're into that sort of thing, I highly recommend checking out.
Films at all.
So it's odd. So I have always hated horror films, not because I find them scary, but because I just get so pissed off with the choices people make in them, like how cliche they are.
Yeah.
But there's a YouTube channel called, I think it's called Dead Meat, and and he made me really appreciate just horror films in general, just because he made me realize that it's not just about trying for cheap scares. It is just like sometimes it's a bit goofy for the purpose. Like you just get goofy horror films, a lot of fun. I always used to like view horror films that they're trying to scare you. But watching his videos just made me actually enjoy horror much more. Now, Hereditary again, like I don't think even if you're not a fan of horror movies, there's still such a good storyline that it makes it's just a scary story. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
essentially.
the acting as well is like incredible.
Oh,
Like,
it's amazing.
because one of the main actresses is the woman who played the
Yes,
mother in The
yeah.
Sixth Sense, Toni Collette. And she was great in that, and in this, it's unbelievable. And like, I mean, everyone in it is fantastic. But
So as a background story with Toni Collette, was apparently she said to her agent that she only
I'm just
she only wanted to. It's fucking massive, isn't it?
yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
What she said.
Yeah. She only wanted to do like light-hearted comedy stuff.
Yeah,
And then like the agent was like, "Listen, I know you said you only want to do like light-hearted comedy stuff, but just look at this." And she was like, "I don't want to do it, but I'll look at it anyway." And then she read it. She was like, "Okay, I've got one more horror film still in me." And like, there's one scene where she just has like this complete dread on her face for like a split second, and apparently that was done first take.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Is that the scene with the ants?
Yes, at the end
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. That was one take. Fucking hell,
Yeah. They got that in the first take.
that's mad.
I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of horror films. Like,
Is it because you scared?
yeah, pretty much. Like, it's not when I'm watching the film. When you watch the film, it's fine. You know, it's like, oh, you know, whatever. Ghosts aren't real. It's when you go to bed and you turn the light off, or even worse, when you get up for a piss at 3 a.m. and you're standing there in the dark, like, oh, I'm gonna turn around. There's gonna be something behind me. This is not gonna be. I'm gonna die with my trousers around my ankles.
See,
This is not what I want in life.
So I think like 9 out of 10 horror films I watch are horror films. I don't really bother watching others unless it's like like say like Avengers or something that you must see. But with horror films,
Yeah,
I could sit there and I could sit there on my own or with Shannon or whatever. Shannon will probably not watch it, but I'll just blitz through a couple of horror films, and it's that feeling of being scared is very rare for me, but it's when you do get it, that's the adrenaline. You like, it's like chasing adrenaline. It's trying to be as scared as possible, but
Yeah.
bro.
Adrenaline rush.
I think that's the thing with horror. I think that's the thing with the horror genre in general. Though I think it's such a I really like horror. Like, it's one of my favorite genres of film. But I think it's so frustrating at the same time because one, it's so easy to get wrong.
Yeah.
Because I've seen more shit horror films than I've seen.
oh
good
yeah,
ones.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's where the frustration is because there's so many tropes and so many like when the first Paranormal Activity came out, for example, like the first Paranormal Activity film, even the first two, really, like, because it's like, it's not the first film to do like the found footage thing because obviously Blair Witch did it and whatnot. But like,
Well, it was a unique take because it was like static footage, wasn't it?
yeah, exactly. But like
I was gonna say, I know it's like a terrible choice of film for anybody who actually watches horror. But when you said like, have you got any favorite horror films? I was gonna say either Paranormal Activity 2 or Rec 2.
Oh, Rec.
Rec 2 was a great film.
Yeah,
Rec 2 was better than Rec 1, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Rec 1 was kind of just a zombie film. Rec 2 brought the whole this is like demonic possession thing, and there were some really fucking scary scenes in Rec 2.
Did you watch the
Right,
American or
towards
the
the
Spanish version?
The Spanish.
Okay. I was about to deep dive on you there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
no,
like
Spanish.
I thought Paranormal Activity, like the first two films, really, they had the right mix of jump scares and things that were just creepy. Like, is it Paranormal Activity 2 where they put like down talcum powder and they find the footprint?
that's one.
Is that one of the
That's the first one.
Is that the first one?
They had things like that that were just like, fuck, that's creepy. And then they had other scenes where you're like, where it'd be like the middle of the night, everyone's asleep, and it's just going from camera to camera to camera, like room to room, and you're going, it's gonna pop off any minute now, it's gonna pop off, and then just cut to like the daytime, and it's like builds that tension, and then nothing, and you're like, oh fuck,
I think
and you never know what's gonna happen. Like, plus Paranormal Activity 2 had the pool cleaner when that popped out the swimming pool. I
think with Paranormal Activity as well, like, because it was like the first one in its franchise, the thing that took it home with you was the ending where it come up saying it was based on the true events. That hits harder for so many other.
Yeah, definitely.
It just hits you because you're like, oh shit, it's real, right? It's like a gentle nudge just to say,
yeah,
good luck. yeah.
This could be you.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
really,
But-
yeah.
So I was going to say, but I feel like the whole like based on true
Oh,
events has kind of
100%.
like lost its way over the years because
Yeah,
when,
yeah.
when you first when it's like, oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre based on true events, you're like, oh fuck, there really was this fucking
Yeah,
chainsaw
yeah.
guy, or the fucking Paranormal Activity. I think that was like the last one where it was like, oh shit, something like this actually happened. When in reality, the true event it could be based on was like, yeah, I heard a knocking next door once.
Yeah,
Some-
no, I do get you.
Some
And
of
it's
them are
like-
complete nonsense as well.
Oh,
Was,
yeah.
I forget what film it was. I forget the name of it, but there was this film and it had Mila Jovovich in it. Is
Was
that
it
how you say her
Resident
name?
Evil?
Yes. No, it wasn't Resident Evil. It's the
Okay.
actress from Resident Evil.
Right.
Yeah.
It had
I
her.
thought, I
in it.
thought she was only exclusively in Resident Evil. I can't believe she's in other films.
That's because they've made like 57
That's
fucking
fine.
Resident Evil films. Like, just leave it. It's dead. Dead franchise. Let it go. But she was in a film that was about like, it was kind of like alien possession. She was meant to be like a psychologist and her husband like went a bit nuts and like.
Sounds like Resident Evil, mate.
And there was like aliens. And anyway, it's like an alien thing. And she's like regressing people. Like people are saying like, oh, I think I might have been visited. And she's like putting them under hypnosis and saying what happened. And people are screaming and shit. And at the beginning, they say like, this is based on this is based on true events. It's a dramatization of what happened. And we're going to, but they were saying like the real woman, like the real psychiatrist taped all of her, like videotaped all of her sessions. And they cut in like real bits of footage. And so you'll be seeing it, and it'll be like it'll be like the actors and that being all like, okay, so you know, then what happened? Like he'll be all under hypnosis. It'll be then what happened, and it will cut to like what looks like some real footage from the 90s or whatever, from a VHS tape of like a guy under hypnosis like screaming and saying, "Oh, get away!" And it's like fuck. And they do this bit at the end, and it's all fucked up. And it turns out that was all bollocks. Like, no, it's not based on true events at all. All of the real footage that they cut in was just like.
Can they do that
Film-
though? Like, can they actually? Can they like? Is there like is there not like false?
I guess not.
Like,
I
guess
reckon.
not.
I reckon maybe there's probably more like laws now, but I reckon back then it like
yeah.
that's
not
that kind of
that old a
filmmaking
film,
was such a different.
really.
For clarification, Hayden's talking about the fourth kind.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
that's it.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm sweating like a bitch in this thing. I'm gonna try and plug through though, boys. I'm gonna try and plug through. I'm so hot.
At least you weren't in the bear costume. So
Yeah, this
isn't
is
nice.
true.
But yeah, I think with those like with like paranormal activities and stuff, I think off the back of them, I think that's the other thing with horror that kind of frustrates me. You do get a lot of sort of trends that happen in horror, and as a result, you get some god awful films off the back of it. Like, so like you take films like Insidious and The Conjuring, like basically the James Wan films, who I think in terms of horror directors is probably one of the better ones like working today. And I think even though he has tropes like jump scares in his films, they're jump scares that actually pay off. And it's actually, like when the jump scare happens, it's actually something that's scary. So like obviously there's that famous scene in the first Insidious film where the guy's standing behind the dad. Like it cuts from like character to character, and then when it finally cuts back to the dad, there's this Darth Maul looking
That was the only
motherfucker
jump
just like
scene in a horror film that has actually go, oh my god, but out loud.
yeah, I screamed. I remember seeing this. I remember being in the cinema. That happened. I just went, ah! It was fucked because you don't see because it's the way it was done was so perfect because it's like the grandma's talking and she's talking about like having this dream where she sees something in the kid's bedroom and then she sort of stops because oh, you look like, and then you just slightly hear the music just drop. And as soon as it cuts back to the dad, it's just like, oh my fucking god!
That film shit me up right at the beginning, right? Just because, like, I can't quite remember. I haven't seen it in ages, but there's the bit where it just does the opening credits, and it's just doing opening credits. It fades to black, and then fucking Insidious on the screen. Boom!
the
With the
violins,
music's so
yeah.
fucking loud, and I was sitting there watching it like, fuck! I was like, I didn't see
Yeah.
that coming. And the
But
music
what was that?
shit
What
me
was
up.
that film? Because as the point I was going to make is like those jump scares, right? The reason they work is because, like I said, there's a payoff. There is actually something scary at the end of it. I hate it going to see like a really shit horror film where like it will be like it will set the scene up and so like the music will fade and you can sit there and go, okay, well something's obviously about to jump out and scare me now. Like you can tell the way the scene's going, but then it will be like a cat jumps down from like the top of the cupboards, or it's like the guy's friend who's a douchebag who like goes like on the window, and it's like I don't know.
It's cheap. Just jump scares are cheap.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really like playing horror games that much.
Well, that's the thing. If they're done well, and like I said, there's an actual payoff and it's something scary, I don't mind them.
Hereditary is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and
I feel
even
like you
in
have
like,
to-
Sorry,
go
go
on, Mike, you finish here.
I was gonna say even in like those sort of films, like in like again Insidious, for example, like or even like there's another scene where like again the music drops and it's just there's a little jolt of like a violin, but it's a little kid just runs from like point A to point B across the camera. And it's just like, oh my fucking god. Like but if it, and even those horror games, like I know you've been playing Outlast 2 recently, and I've obviously seen some of the clips you posted and whatnot, and it's like, yeah, like a monster will jump out of the well, but at least it's actually a monster and not just like it's a fish that just happens to jump out or something and you just go, oh, I got scared for nothing. Like,
I feel like you need to build it properly as well. Like I was saying, like those times when it builds the tension, then nothing happens. I think you need scenes like that first, if you know what I mean. Because if every time you're sitting there, you're watching it, there's something's going to jump out in this scene, and then it jumps out, and you think, oh yeah, that made me jump a little bit, and then the next, a couple of scenes, it's like something's going to jump out in this scene as well. Like if you can see it coming, whereas I feel like, especially like the earlier like Paranormal Activity films, they do build that tension where you're going, something's going to fucking happen, and nothing happens. And then the next time you go, say it's going to happen this time, nothing happens, and then the third time or fourth time when something does actually happen, it has more impact because not only is there that jump scare, but there's the whole kind of, is it going to happen? Isn't it going to happen? And the tension's been building for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, you've been on edge for like ages.
Yeah.
So when it finally happens,
what we are missing
like,
in the horror films now is like the old school walk-in slasher style. I reckon if that was redone properly, like with I don't know, obviously obviously the given would be Halloween, but I don't know. Yeah, but like it's actually like a kind of realistic style, like I don't know, some sort of, I don't know how you would do it.
Well, they kind of obviously they did a soft reboot of Halloween, and that did really well. And obviously they left it open ended for obviously a massive sequel. So I reckon like the Halloween franchise is going to carry on.
I don't know if that's a good idea. They've done like 10.
Yeah, but the thing is that obviously they did 10, and obviously like 8 of those 10 were complete just like B movie dog shit. Not even B, like more C movie dog shit. But obviously the soft reboot they did was such like a passion project and stuff like that, and they put in so much effort towards it that it would now be like, if it all stays on that level of quality, I think there's your like new modern day slasher right there.
The way that film is done with the music of just when you hear that noise, he's coming. He's so intense. Like it's so great.
They don't do that anymore as well. Like the thing with fucking like the Halloween films, like the man never ran. He's running down the fucking corner. Shit, he's coming after me, running, and that motherfucker's walking. He's catching you up. What the fuck? And he never stops.
No.
He just never stops. He's just, I can't get away from it.
The best thing about that film
17
is
miles.
it's so realistic because it's just a man. That is it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. It could happen
in a William Shatner mask. There's a little factoid for you. It's a William Shatner mask turned inside out and painted white. That.
Well, that's kind of why I like the more sort of psychological horror stuff. Like obviously Hereditary is spoken about, but another sort of what was my favorite horror film before I watched Hereditary was Babadook, which I know is a bit like that. It sort of splits people, I think, in terms of how much they like it. But because I think when the adverts came out, you think it's a monster film, when really it's more of a film about like grief and like going insane and like your mind playing tricks on you and stuff. Like to me, that's terrifying because that's something that could obviously they do include like some sort of monster sort of as like a a symbol or a metaphor for what the film's about and whatnot. But like the fact you can sort of sit there and go, like, that could happen to me. Like I could lose my head and start seeing, having like night terrors and all this sort of stuff. Like,
so I've never seen Babadook, but giving it a quick Google, I just realised it's that scene. So why the fuck does that kid scream in the back of the car?
Do you know what? I've only seen it the once. I actually haven't watched it since I saw it in cinema, and I saw it like when it came out. So
because it's that meme, isn't it? It's like, why can't you just be normal when a kid's screaming?
I think
I've seen that so many times in the last week.
I think it's something to involve in the Babadook, but I can't like the character of the Babadook, but I can't remember. I haven't. When did it come out?
I think 2014.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it in 6 years, so it might be time to give it a rewatch.
Oh, sorry, 2012. It says
8 years. Jesus Christ, I'm getting old.
That's a long time ago.
I might have to finally give it a second viewing then. It's been a decade or so. Conjuring's great.
How many Conjuring films are there now?
4.
I don't know if I've seen any of them. I must have.
In terms of like
Yeah,
the
two Conjuring
in terms of the
films.
main Conjuring films,
Third
it's two,
one
isn't it?
was meant to release this year, but got postponed. So because it's the Texas.
I'm up.
It's based on the Texas. It's still Ed and Lorraine Warren, but for the kid that killed the childminder or something like that, and he said the devil made me do it, which will be quite an interesting one. But it follows that, like, because all the films are based off of the Ed and Lorraine's actual writings of their experiments and like exorcisms and all that stuff. So
Yeah. No, yeah. See, things that they might be worth a watch because I found a lot of like again going back to the Paranormal Activity films. Like the first one was good, the second one was really good. The third one was like, but they just kept fucking making them. They just keep fucking making them, and they get worse and worse. And I feel like a lot of franchises, they like hit with a good film, follow it up with a good film, and then it's just like, we just need to make as much money off this fucking brand, like this IP, as we can, and they just churn them out. And
no, I think
I
the
always get
Conjuring,
a bit disappointed.
the Conjuring films definitely are treated with a lot more care and a lot more like I said, the director who does it, he did like the Insidious films, and like you can tell that he, you know, he's doing this for the sake of making good horror films rather than just like making a quick buck, you know. So
yeah, nice. I might check them out.
Well, it's like Saw as well, isn't it? Like the first Saw film was actually kind of like a little bit scary or spooky. And even the second one was a little bit like a bit tense, but it was the first one was more horror. But as it went on, it just turned into fucking gore porn, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it was. It was like, how gruesome can we make this?
That's a great example, actually, of a franchise that started out great and just ended up in the fucking toilet when they released Saw fucking 17 or whatever it was. And it was like, he's still alive, still killing people.
He died 5 films ago. Nope, still alive.
No, he did a comeback. He did a Palpatine. That motherfucker wasn't dead.
But the thing is that they went so fucking stupid. They like created like a storyline where they'd only update with like 2 events per film. So you had like this fucking 8-film story arc. It's just all it is traps, and then there's just 2 scenes. It's like this is the story.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene. Oh, that's 2 films from now. You're gonna have to watch the other 2 for that. And
Final Destination is quite similar to that in that regard. In terms of they made like first one was quite good, second one was all right, and then they made like another 10 of them, and it was just like
I have a Final Destination story actually. Oh, it's not my story; it's my cousin's story, right? So my cousin went out with this girl. I don't know. They went to the cinema.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
you didn't see her. No, I don't know. I never met the girl. He took her out on a date. I think they went to like cinema or something, and he dropped her home. And he was driving home down the A12, and he was behind this. You know, you see those big fucking flatback lorries, and he was behind one of them, and it had a load of like wooden railway sleepers, like the big wooden things. It had a fucking load of them piled up on it, and he was like, fuck this. He was like, I'm not driving, because we all do it. You're driving behind like a scaffolding lorry or one of them. You're like, this is going to be some Final Destination shit. And he said, I thought that and pulled in the outside lane to overtake it. And as soon as he overtook it, like 3 sleepers fell off the fucking back of the lorry. And he was like, if I'd have just thought, I'm being stupid and sat behind it, I probably would have died.
Fuck that.
It's like, fuck that. Can you imagine that girl as well? Did you have a nice date? Yeah, it was all right. My date died though on the way home, so...
Do you reckon,
see him again? Probably not. No.
Do you reckon you can see him again? Probably in another life.
That's fucked. That's the sort of shit that would keep me awake for like months. Like,
right?
Fuck that.
Any of you guys ever had any of those experiences that not supernatural, just really creepy, on like really uncomfortable situations?
No, I've never had like.
It's one time in church. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm joking.
I can't say I've ever like, not off the top of my head anyway. Like I think I was accidentally stalked, but like again, that was accidental. I think it was just more. I just kept.
How did you get accidentally stalked?
I just kept bumping it. I just kept everywhere I went. Just that like there was a few years ago. Girl I saw once, like, and then it didn't, just didn't go anywhere for a reason. But then like sort of 3 or 4 times I went out, I go and like, back home or then out in London like another week, and she'd always end up seeing her at least once throughout the night, like, to the point where it was like it's been like 4 weeks on the spin now. Like,
oh, so it was coincidental.
I think it was, yeah,
allegedly,
yeah. But that's the closest I can really come to anything.
I was going to say, because otherwise me and you'd have like something in common about getting stalked from a past date.
Can confirm I've never been stalked. So
Yeah. No, it's because I think Hayden's heard the story, haven't you, about when I got stalked?
Yeah, this is fucking terrifying.
It's
I was scared. I
not
was scared
great.
for you when you told me about this. I was like, fuck, you're gonna die.
So prerequisite. So I meant to like, I went to like, I was meant to go on a date with this girl, and then I ended up being at a friend's barbecue party, like deep in Essex. And I was like, I can't be bothered to leave here to go into London for like a date for someone I don't really know. I'm just gonna cancel. I cancelled it, and then a week later, she was like, "Oh, let's go out tonight." And I was like, I didn't really want to, but I was like, I cancelled last time. I feel like I should probably go, so I went anyway. And then the second I saw her, I was like, don't like her. Just not into her. She
was a 45-year-old man.
No, you could tell that she pictured really well. Now, don't like this isn't me saying this is why it was a bad date. I mean, people can look how they want to look. I'm just it wasn't off to a great start. So we go to like the first bar anyway, and we start speaking about narcotics, and she says, "Oh yeah, like I sometimes buy stuff from the dark web." And I was like, "Oh, you go like obviously everyone hears of the dark web." So I was like, "Oh, you go on the dark web?" And she was like, "Yeah. Well,
Should you just field Mike's question quickly?
yeah,
Yeah,
go on."
so how in the fuck did you go into narcotics as one of the first subject matters of a
Because
date?
of course, none of us, if the police are listening, have ever done anything illegal or taken any
Like,
illegal drugs.
how do you get onto narcotics as one of the first conversation points? You straight in narcotics. Like so.
All right,
Mate,
last okay.
So I was reading Narcotics Weekly the other day.
Yeah. There's a reason I'm 19 on the purity scale.
Right. Okay.
But,
Okay.
to be fair, I don't even know
Bleach is
how.
actually a Colombian drug baron.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Oh, bleacher.
So we was talking about going to like house parties. Then she spoke about doing drugs. Asked me if I did any, and then she went into how she gets. Like she was like, "Oh yeah, I get some all the time." I was like, "Oh, what through a dealer?" Like just a part like off the palm comment. She was like, "No, of the dark web," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then she was like, "Well, if I'm being honest, I kind of use the dark web to like check your IP address." And I was like, "What? Huh?"
Come again?
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh yeah, no. So I stalked your IP address to check, like, just track what you did online, just to make sure you wasn't a weirdo."
You're not the weirdo, yeah. Fucking
like,
hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I said. I was like, you're not the weirdo. You're the one fucking stalking me on fucking.
The thing is though, like I've been on those before where they come out and been like, look, I'm gonna be completely honest. I looked you up on like Twitter or Facebook just to make sure you didn't like have any.
But
You know,
that's
which I'm like,
open
yeah,
to the
that's I
public,
get
so
that. That's
that's
the thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I stalked your Instagram. Ha. It's like, yeah, sure, I did the same thing to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with so I've got your social security number.
Even if she did use your IP address to look you up and stuff, lie and say she went on your Facebook. Like,
Yeah, mate. Honestly, it gets
that.
worse as well.
okay.
We end up going to like another bar anyway because I'm a bit like, this girl's fucking nuts. I can't just like.
You're gonna be
insult-
killed.
yeah, I can't like make her upset. I was like, I'm in this for the long haul now. And we go to like another fucking bar, and she makes like an offhanded comment as well. She's going, "Oh yeah, no, I've been ghosted before, but I told you how I could track you, so you better not ghost me." He. I was like, "That's not a fucking joke. That's not a joke. That's me being uncomfortable."
That's a thinly veiled threat, is what that is.
Yeah.
That's-
What else happened? She also told me how she was like, "Oh yeah, so have you ever fucked?" She went to me, "Have you ever fucked a girl in the ass?" And I mean that was an answer to that question. And then she was like, "Yeah, no."
There was an answer to that question. Holy shit!
And no, she went to me like, "Oh yeah, like I was on the state, I was dating this guy before, and I got shit on his dick." And I was like, "All right," and she was like, "Would you get insulted by that?" I was walking. I was just like, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
I would have taken the murder in at that point. I'd have been like, do you know what? I can't do this. I'm going home.
I'm not. I'm just not having a good evening. I'm gonna go home.
And there's another
Oh,
line. She gave me another amazing line where at one point, just out of context, she went, "By the way, I'm not gonna fuck you on the first date." And I was like, okay.
You told me about how you buy cocaine and shit dick.
Yeah.
That's all right. Good. Nice to
then
see where the lines are drawn.
and basically, it got to the point where I just had to like just draw out the night, and then it was a fucking awful day. It was the worst day I've ever been in my life. But then the next, and then the next morning as well, I get a text at like 8:30 in the morning. It's not like a hi, how are you? Like, oh, good morning. I really enjoyed my date last night. I literally just got the words, okay, I will fuck you next time. And then
I'll bleach me out with her 3 more times.
Yeah, so basically, long story short, I got some
boyfriend, girlfriend now.
She's been married for 3 years.
Yeah. Fuck that. I said to Bleach, man, you want to get worried because she might, like, if you do go, like, obviously you kind of have ghosted the girl, I guess.
Oh
Or,
no!
like-
So yeah, I did it very tactically. I was like, you know what? I can't just like not reply to this. So each reply I got a bit longer to answer, and I just made myself seem like I was really fucking boring. So
Yeah.
and about a week later, she stopped texting me.
Nice.
See, that's right. Because I was
Nice
gonna say, you got to be careful because, like, if she's on the dark web and shit, like, you insult that girl, she'll order a pound of black tar heroin to your house and then call the police. Do you know what I mean? Bleach will wake up one morning, the police will kick the door and fucking we get banged up for being a heroin dealer.
It's just fucking, I don't know. It made me not go on another date for like almost 6 months. I was like, I'm done with it. I can't go through that again. I'd rather, yeah. Everyone's got their limit. I finally reached mine. I'd rather fuck a guy with his face painted like the fucking It clown.
Had it up to here.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah. I was at a 4. I'm now at a 7.
I mean, it's sort of similar topic, but has anyone had any like sort of ghost experiences before, or like I don't know? Did anyone actually? First of all, did anyone actually leave?
Yeah. I ghosted her, so there's two.
Every time you meet these things like that, and they just faded
Does
away.
anyone actually? Yeah. Does anyone actually believe in ghosts?
Like,
Or,
I do
paranormal?
because I assume I've seen one. I think I see one, but that was I seen it with my own eyes.
I seen it.
No, it's so I was coming home like from I think it was my aunt's. Oh no, I think we were out one night. I don't know if it was like Field or something like that. And for anyone that doesn't know, Field is a place where it's quite literally a field behind a metro sign, which is we all used to have drinks.
Where we all used to go and get drunk.
Yeah. Just funny.
We were clever
I
teenagers.
remember
as you can tell.
walking up to the door. It's giving me goosebumps thinking about it now. Yeah, walking up to the door, and then I forgot the key. No, I had the key, but I was just pressed the door. I was just lazy. I couldn't be able to get the key out of my pocket. The hallway lights, because like we leave the hallway lights on, just obviously if anyone's home or whatever, just to be able to see what you're doing instead of having to walk in and go all the way to the end to turn the light on and fall over everyone's shoes. And the light was on, but there was someone standing at the top of the stairs because we had like one of the little small kind of arch windows at the top of the door. And then I pressed the doorbell thinking, oh, they're coming down, they can just open the door and let me in. And I'm standing there looking for the window, and it's things just kind of there at the top of the stairs. Bear in mind, when you walk into my house, obviously these guys know, it's just kind of like the stairways in front of you, and it's just a plain wall at the top.
Yeah.
And it's just like a person standing on the top of the stairs. So I was like ringing the doorbell, thinking like, come on, like open the fucking door. So I got me. Yeah, so I'm like
Just
knocking,
standing down to the fucking door.
Okay, got the key out. But as I pushed the door open, it kind of moved to the side, like out onto the banister, like out of the way. So I was like standing there thinking like, hello? And it freaked me that much out. I just walked back out the front door and I just literally sat in my car. And then about 20 minutes later, my parents and my sister walked past and come home. So there was no one in the fucking house, but there definitely fucking was.
Could it?
Fuck that noise.
Could it not have been like a burglar, maybe? Who like then
Nothing's-
got spooked by you and made it done a runner?
Yeah, maybe the
Stand there,
burglar
stand
thought
in
you
front of
were
the
a
door.
ghost.
Yeah.
It's just
I
really
know,
thought,
I
fuck
thought
this,
if
I'm
it was
rubbing
a
it.
burglar, they wouldn't have
I'll
stood
take
there
anything
watching the
further.
door for that long. But then we've never
Yeah.
been burgled, and plus nothing of value
And
went
how- and how-
missing.
and-
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And how they
Well-
got out?
Yeah. How would they have got in? Like, surely if there was a burglar, you would have gone in and gone, "Oh, the back doors have been smashed in."
but we've
They're
had
still
like, in
indoors
my
there,
house
so-
and
living in the
like,
loft. Yeah.
in general, like my mum sees stuff all the time. Like we've had
Because sorry to cut you off. Didn't you tell it was either your parents or your sister about that, and they
Yeah,
said
so
they had seen the
it was
same
like
thing?
it was like
a
it was
year
a couple of years
prior,
prior,
or
but not like my nan was around once, and she was like, "Oh, calling for Kimberly," because like where our couches are, they're facing where the stairs are on the banister, and she was like, "Oh, like Kimberly, can you come here, please?" And then my mum was like, "What do you mean? Kimmy's out?" And she was like, "Oh, I've just seen someone walk down the stairs." So then, they were like, went to have a look. Obviously, there was no one there, but my nan was like convinced there was someone walking down the stairs. But that she's not the only one that's seen it. Obviously, Malcolm Tony saw it, and other people see something like this. It's that stairway is just no, don't touch it.
See, this is the thing. This is my thing with ghosts, like and stuff. Like, I don't believe in them because I've never had an experience where I've seen anything that I can claim to be a ghost, right? But at the same time, I can't sit here and go, well, you know, well,
Yeah, like,
Scott's
they
talking,
definitely don't exist, yeah.
Scott's talking bullshit, like, or Scott's nan was obviously just seeing stuff. Whatever. Like, I didn't see it, so I can't sit here and say that didn't happen. But it's like the fact that it's multiple people saw it on the same stairs at different times as well. Like, not even like different times throughout the day, but different times throughout life.
Like a person thing. But the so when my parents used to live in my uncle's flat, and my mum said that she was having such bad experiences in that flat from basically it was like she was waking up with bite marks.
I was gonna say. I was just about to say, was it
with,
your mum?
Yeah, she was waking up with bite marks on her leg.
I remember. Yeah,
I remember you
But that
telling
was
me
the
this.
she get. No, no, it was she was waking up, but there was like bite marks all over her legs, and then she was they basically, I think, because my mum's mum is quite like she's like all God, all power, you know, like a South African woman who's heavily into the Holy Spirit and whatnot. Basically, told my mum to once if it bites you again, I think it was light a certain amount of candles, and then tell it to stop. And then after she did that, the bite marks stopped. But my mum does still see like some weird, like she says she wakes up in the middle of the night and she sees a bloke standing at the end of my dad's side of the bed. And
Fuck that.
yeah, no.
I just want to know the inflection of telling your
do you
mum
know what I
that
mean?
when she told the girls to stop it.
Stop it.
naughty
Don't
boy.
do it anymore.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Naughty ghost.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. It could be down to I don't know. Like it could be something. It for the individual, maybe. I have no idea, but that's.
It's just like I say, it's just weird that like 3 or 4 different people like have like all very similar experiences prior to me even telling anyone. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I think the thing with ghosts is like you can say, "Oh, yo, they don't exist," right? You can say that, but you don't know that for sure. Like nobody really
No.
knows. Like when you think about like what makes you you, do you know what I mean? Like, is it? It's like just the electrical impulses in your brain, right?
Yeah.
I guess. Like we assume that's what it is. Nobody really knows what makes you like who you are and what makes us different from animals, kind of thing. And even if we say, "Oh, it's just all the electrical impulses in your brain," well, when you die, like conservation of energy, like you can't get rid of that electrical energy. It's just got to turn into different forms. And does it just turn into heat that dissipates, or does it go on and do something else afterwards? And it's that lack of certainty, I think, that when something creepy does happen, it's like, oh, what was that? Was it like a bird flying past and casting a shadow, or was it something else? You know,
for some people, it's reassuring as well, isn't it? Like, you know, if you lose a loved one and you want to be in the knowledge that they're still, you know, out there somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It could be reassuring. Like,
I think
Unless they
a
start
lot of
choking
time-
you in the night or whatever, you know.
Yeah, like
Oh, it's
And
just Darren's ghost. Yeah, he choked me though. I don't know what that's about.
Oh,
He's tried to kill me
then
for
that's definitely Devon's
Oh,
ghost.
yeah.
He was a filthy bastard.
or Darren's mates going, yeah, I don't know either.
I think with like, it's when if you're getting like, I don't know, harmed by it, or say like poltergeist levels, that's when it's like fucks up.
Oh yeah, like don't get me wrong. If I lived in a house and all my doors started opening and slamming closed, I'd be like, yeah, there's something not right going on here. I would be like, this must be the wind. I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Weird shit's going on, but I think like, I know, it's the kind of same as Mike. Like, if someone says that they've seen something, I'll probably believe him because like I think a lot of times, obviously, I'm not. If it's just like an isolated incident, it can be like,
Yeah.
you probably just saw something. Like your eyes probably
yeah,
fake.
yeah. That's
But if,
yeah.
if someone's like, well, I'm into witchcraft, and every single night I just sit down in a room and I talk to this spirit. His name's Nathaniel, and he likes basketball. I'm like, fuck off. You're talking out your ass. There's no truth for that.
For
If
me,
it's like,
I have a real bugbear with people who charge money. Basically, like mediums who charge people money to say, "I'm gonna, I can speak to you. I can speak to you, one of your dead relatives or whatever." And it's like, but for like 60 quid, and I'm doing it. It's like, if you can do that sort of thing, why would you charge people for it? If you're doing it for such a nice thing to give people a chance to speak to have their final words with someone, you don't charge them money for it.
if you're good at something, never do it for free.
I just realised
Yeah, that's
on
true.
the side note.
That's why bleach is
Obviously, like I think we were talking about the last stream with when I was saying that I used to sleepwalk when I was younger. Obviously, fell out of the bed and whatnot. But it's just like it's mega cliche. But my mum said she found me doing it was I turned the TV on, but was just watching static. But then she was like, "That's." I'm so sorry.
Absolutely shit herself.
You'd walk in, see it, and just be like, "Shut the door."
Apparently, I was.
Oh, you have
quite,
got to be
like,
fucking
sleepwalking
joking.
when I was younger, I was quite. So she would just say, "Scott, go back to bed." We obviously but because obviously your brain's conscious when you. I just got back up and just walked straight back upstairs. Went to sleep.
Yeah.
Just
did your head also
I
rotate
crawled back as like
180
spider.
degrees?
Vomiting
But, like,
green
that's-
shit everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I did
Getting
that for
a
so long.
crucifix from it.
So
What the fuck's he
when,
doing with it?
Obviously when you have like the year 6 things where you like to go to like adventure parks and all that stuff. I was borderline not allowed to go because of my sleepwalking at the time. Because if I was sharing a room with other kids, I'd been terrified because I've probably been walking around. Yeah, so there was
Really shit
my mum was like,
about it,
I'd like, is the door? Like she wanted to know if the doors were locked, if I could get out because I would just walk off and I just could be fucking gone.
Excuse me,
Wake up
can
3
you
miles
tie
away,
my
yeah.
son down on this school trip? Well, to be fair, I know what you mean by like the other kids just find it like fucking like terrifying. Because it's funny enough, I saw a video like probably 2 days ago on Reddit, and it was of this girl recording her sister sleepwalking. Is it the sleepwalking sister just standing at the foot of their bed, just staring at her sister, and like the sister recording it's like shaking, just screaming for their mum, and like the sleepwalking sister just doesn't budge at all. She's just like fucking pierced look straight at the camera. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, you got to be you got to be like careful with that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm just reading from the chat with Jack was saying he knows when it's like sleep paralysis is going to happen. I used to get that with sleepwalking. If I was going to bed, you could feel if you were going to sleepwalk that night. It's like a really weird feeling. It's quite odd.
That's strange.
I mean,
I feel like sleep paralysis wouldn't
Yeah,
explain the
that's
bite marks,
terrifying.
though.
Yeah, I saw what Jack was saying there. Yeah, that's where it crossed over to being just like, oh, it's just sleep paralysis too. Oh my fucking
Oh,
god,
did you fucking bite?
with a ghost in my room with teeth. Yeah,
What have you been doing, you dirty bastard?
Well, speaking of like when you were
At least
younger,
wake me up first.
so speaking of when like you were younger and stuff. So obviously, me and Scott have known each other for quite a number of years now, and I know Scott was there when we. Well, I think Scott had already seen the film prior, but Scott was there when I first watched The Exorcist for the first time. And this isn't so much a scary story, right? But it's more of a funny story. But like, so basically, I've never seen The Exorcist before. We were like, what? almost like 12, 13, something like that. I think I feel like maybe 12, 13. So that's when my mum would have let me watch it. But like, so like, okay, we had a bunch of people stay over mine, like a bunch of people slept over and whatnot. I'm like, right, we'll watch The Exorcist, and I'll say this off the bat with The Exorcist, doesn't hold up very well.
Nah.
Like, I think it's a good film. It's a really good film.
It's a product of its time.
Yeah, but I don't think it's remotely
It's
that
kind of
scary.
it's kind of goofy when you watch it now because the
Yeah.
effects are so bad. Like we're so
It's-
used to
it's-
such high quality effects. You're like, this is some
Yeah, the
bullshit."
effects, whilst they're impressive because they're all practical, I don't think the effects are
Yeah.
aged that well. But like, you know, so in terms of scariness, like, no, not really. But as just a film, I think it is really, really good. And if you haven't seen it, you should absolutely watch it. But like, there's this one kid who was with us, who was like terrified at the prospect of watching The Exorcist. Like, I think he built it up like throughout the whole week of like, oh, it's gonna be the worst fucking thing in the world. I can't handle it. And like, so it's go time. We're watching the film, and like, it's like getting annoying because I literally, as soon as like anything happened, like the scene would change. You go, oh my god, no. It's like, it's fine. They're just talking, or like then you'll see the little girl first. Like, oh my fucking god, no. It's like she's normal. It's all good.
She's
like,
human.
Yeah,
Nothing scary's happened yet.
and it got to the point when it all started like proper kicking off in the film. Like, you know, she's turned the head and she's puking everywhere. She's, you know, saying very nasty things to the priest, and like he started feeling like, no, I can't fucking handle it. I'm gonna be sick. Oh, I'm gonna be sick. I can't handle this. And it was like, but like, yeah, it's a bit gross, but like, it's fine, mate. It's all good. No, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. Like, oh, I'm really gonna throw up. And it's like, all right, fine, you're gonna be sick. Like, whatever. So I was like, all right, well, just like, I'll get you a bowl or something to be sick in. He said, no, man, it's not gonna be big enough. I was like, how much you planning on throwing up? I was like, all right, well, then just go throw up in the sink in the kitchen. Like, it'll be fine. No, man, it's not gonna be big enough. I was like, it's a sink.
It's got a hole
What do
in
you
it.
mean? What do you mean it's not gonna be big enough? It's like the fucking, you have to leave that little plug in, take that out, and go to town. It'll be fine.
Nah, it was
And you know what the worst part was?
retched.
I wasn't even sick. He just retched for 5 minutes and just spat and went, oh, I feel all right now. It's like, oh, get out.
Another note on that story.
I'm not friends with him
was,
anymore.
we were obviously when we were like ridiculously young to watch The Exorcist. I remember taking the DVD from my house, putting it in my bag, and then obviously just going straight round to Mike's. Our mate Brad had a watch that obviously it would interfere with the channels to change the channel. So obviously he's sitting there kind of every now and again, obviously watching the film,
In
but
the
then
corner of
changing
the room,
channel.
aren't
And
they?
everyone's like, let's go to the room, like, because obviously it's all about possession. It was like, oh no.
Because we were like, oh, someone's
TV's
sitting on the
possessed.
remote, like, and to the point where we took the batteries out of the remote and it was still happening. It was like, right, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, that was more scary than the film was. But
Fucking hell, sneaky bastard.
yeah,
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've really had any like horror film experience like that when I was younger. I just never watched them. Like the only things I'd watch scary would be Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I don't think I've ever watched
Yeah.
these.
Goosebumps
None of you
was-
guys ever
They
watched
weren't,
that?
they weren't scary. They're Goosebumps.
No,
Scary.
no, fucking no. Slappy the Dummy from Goosebumps gave me reoccurring nightmares for years.
Oh yeah, that one was a bit creepy. Talking dolls and shit are creepy. Like dolls are creepy though.
Yeah.
to be fair.
But no, I used to have this reoccurring nightmare of him trying to turn me into a dummy because that was one of the plot lines of one of the shows, one of the
I
episodes.
remember that one.
Yeah, and then I also had reoccurring nightmares about another thing as well.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Stretch Armstrong?
Do I?
Yeah.
It fucking mate, the fucking face terrified me. And I remember I always used to have reoccurring nightmares of them two people. And in one episode, Slappy the Dummy was tried to kill Stretch Armstrong as well. So then Stretch Armstrong and me then had like teamed up against Slappy. And
You're
I
saying
woke,
the face of Stretch Armstrong scared you?
oh mate,
Hang
it
on,
is
I've got
fucking
He's a bloke.
Stretch Arm. So I used to have a Stretch Armstrong, but
Fucking
the
terrifying
kids
bloke.
that I know bit into it, and it exploded.
it didn't keep waking up
Fuck.
with
I
my
mean,
arms
that is a
legs.
weird face for a doll, isn't it? Like,
It just
Yeah.
it looks like Donald
Neck
Trump.
is like really long. It does look like a young Donald Trump.
It does. It just looks like Donald Trump.
Yeah, no,
Stretch
Stretch Armstrong is the greatest. toy of all
I have
time.
the stretchiest
true.
arms.
Yeah, stretchiest arms.
these arms have come from China.
China. Did you see the fucking interview, or the speech he did? and he's just saying, "You're not. If you vote for me, you won't hear COVID after whatever the elect was it November 11th or whatever." And then he just starts going, "COVID, COVID, COVID, COVID."
Oh,
What are you doing? What's happening?
he's winning votes,
That's the
Hayden. That's what he's
scariest
doing.
thing, that he's in charge of America at the minute.
Yeah,
COVID.
that is terrifying.
Jesus
I
fucking
just-
Christ.
I had something pop into my head as well, completely off, just getting off the topic of that prick. But like, we and I literally just popped to my head. But have you guys ever done like like London Dungeons?
Yes.
You've been to one, have you ever done that one before?
Yeah.
Well, me and
Nope.
Scott did Amsterdam Dungeons when we were in Amsterdam.
We shit ourselves.
And we had a
That
lovely
was
time, didn't we,
So
Scott?
fucking
I feel like-
scary.
The
I feel like
Dutch
there'd
don't
be
fuck
sex
about,
stuff there.
huh?
I feel like there'd be more sex stuff in the Dutch dungeons.
No, I mean the sex
All
was
the old
quite
parents
scary.
standing
for
there.
different
You
reasons.
have to pay for it and they let you
Yeah, yeah. I've never felt more
Yeah, the-
uncomfortable. When I was just
The
walking around
Amsterdam
sectors, I was
dungeons
like, I
were
want to this.
just.
Like, this is, I'm no prude.
Just yeah, they were like you get. It's the second you walk in there, it's all right. Take a seat, and they just lock you in a fucking cage.
Because the theme was like witches. I think it was like I think it was meant to be set in like old English times, I guess, where like the people used to believe witches were a thing, and you used to like if you found evidence of someone being a witch, they could get burnt at the stake and stuff like that.
burn them alive and shit.
But there was one like there was two things I remember from that, and one that got me and one that got Scott like quite differently. But there was one thing we just walked into this room. So that's the whole thing. You're following this guide around, and they're sort of giving you all the information and whatnot. And they're all dressed like not nuns, but that sort of old like
friars and
yeah,
monks
yeah,
and-
like black dress with the white head thing that women wear and whatnot. And like we walked into this room, and there's one particular woman who was like started off showing us the tour, and she left after like 10 minutes to go do something else and whatnot, and hand us over to this other person. So about 5 minutes later, we go into this room, and I can't remember what the scenario was. I think it was like we were actually someone's gonna be on trial. We literally walk into this room. It's pitch fucking black. There's like barely. It's like very dimly lit. It's pitch black. I walk into this room and I'm just having a look around. Like, oh, it's all good. Everyone's talking and whatnot. And I look to my right, and in the corner of the room is the tour guide who was with before, just standing there staring at me, like literally just tucked away in the corner because she was wearing dark clothes. She just blended in. So I'm just having a look around. I'm sort of turning around, and she's there doing this. I fucking shit. Like, man, I'm in a room full of other people. I've just gone, oh my fucking god! Like,
punch her out by accident.
oh, man, I think I went like that. It's like a reflex. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ! But that was, yeah, that was fucking gnarly. And what was the other one? We, the room.
Yeah, the
Was it the last room we're in, Scott?
Yeah, so we all
With
we
the
all
strobe
sit down
lights
on a
and stuff.
bench in this room. We were all kind of all sitting in a square, and there was just like a blank space in the middle, and strobe lights started going off. So I was kind of sitting there like thinking, this woman walked into the room obviously when the strobes are going off really slowly, and she kind of just stands there for a good minute, and you're kind of just sitting there thinking like, okay, something's gonna happen, like. But then the lights cut off, and it's meant to be like thunder kind of, and the lights cut off, and it just goes completely silent. And so in my head, you couldn't even see your hand in front of your face. It was that dark.
Fucking black
And
in that room.
in my head, I was just sitting there thinking, the light's going to turn on, and her face is going to be in front of my face. Like it's going to happen. It's 100% going to happen. And I'm kind of sitting there waiting for it, and the tension's getting longer and longer.
Wasn't there the thing with the seats as well?
Fucking literally, the lights come on, and she's there. It's like you want to hit. You don't know whether it's a punch or grab for your heart because you feel like your soul's going to be taken away from you. But yeah, that was
From my perspective, it was all stroby and whatnot. You can sort of see her just walking around the room. And like I said, when the lights sort of started turning back on, it went back to stroby. She was on like the other end of the room, and she just literally made a beeline for Scott. Like, as the strobes are going on, you just see her look at him and just fucking charge straight towards him. Oh my fucking god! And they also put stuff in the chairs that you were sitting on, so it made it feel like something was going like across your back and like rubbing up past your back and stuff. Like, if you ever go to Amsterdam, do the dungeons because they're just.
They had like a similar thing in the last time I went to the London dungeons where they do like a Sweeney Todd thing,
right?
And they put you in this room and there's like loads of barber chairs and that, like the old wooden ones and shit. And they're like, oh yeah, everybody sit down. They're telling you the story. and you sit in this
And you
chair.
got a haircut, Hayden.
I did, yeah. It was last week. Now you sit down, and then all the lights go off as they get into the bit where it's like, oh yeah, and then he'd like start like slashing people's throats. All the lights went off, and they had speakers in the chair, like, but they were like quite hidden, so you couldn't notice.
Yeah.
And it sounded, you could hear like a guy talking, and it sounded like he was like right behind your fucking head. 'Cause they were
Oh.
kind of big. And then just as it got to a bit where they were like, and then he like, you know, would slash your throat, all the chairs just fucking like fell back, like, and everyone was like, fuck! Everyone thinks they're falling out of the chair. That was pretty fucking scary.
Yeah,
The-
that was. I mean, it
The
was
only other
great, but also
thing
got
that I would
desperate
say,
to go back
obviously,
to it.
I don't know if they're watching, but it was when I went to what was it, Full Park Friday night with Sean Stewart and were you there, right? Oh yeah, Sean Stewart and Jay. Yeah.
No, I think it was Jay. You went with.
We stayed over the night to do the
wasn't I?
maze at like 2 a.m, and there was two things with that. One, there was a maze with clowns. So we did this last maze. And it was just a long corridor at the end, and there was just a clown standing about a quarter of the way through it, and he's just standing there staring at us. And we've kind of like, oh, is this the way out? Like we just kind of be like, sorry, mate, got to squeeze past you there just to get out the maze. And he just stands there. He doesn't even move. He just stands there, looks at us, and he steps to the side so you can get past. And then he just goes, run. And then the fucking, where we walked out the door, it burst open, and it's just a clown with a chainsaw running after you at full sprint, and you have to run out of this corridor. My God, you just don't expect it, because you're just like, what do you mean run? It's like just one long, really tight corridor.
I'd love to see what happened if someone did that. And just
Well, we say that, but obviously after that, I was like, I need to But after that, we were sitting there, and then a clown come out with a member of staff holding his face, because obviously he jumped out on someone, and they smacked him one. Yeah, so he was coming out with he was holding his nose, and there was just blood everywhere, and he was just like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
I think for some people that would be a natural reaction, wouldn't it? Someone jumps out at you, you're gonna like.
It is like a really common problem, because I went on a date with this actress a couple of times, and she was.
It's always a date. It's always a date story, isn't it?
She walked up behind Bleach and put her hand on his shoulder and was like, guess who? He turned around and broke it.
Yeah. No,
I'm so sorry.
So she was an actress, but she said she would do like those like haunted houses for like part-time work.
That makes sense.
And she said that like she's only like 5'2". She's like really small girl. She said she got clocked in her face so many times.
Fuck.
Because like, you jump out and so many people's like their honest reaction is just go.
It must be what they must say to people when they take them jobs on. Like, look, we can't guarantee that you're not going to get punched in the face at least once. Like, it's just one of them things that we can't really control.
It sounds muggy, but it's like it is part of the job. Obviously,
like it shouldn't be. But again, if that's someone's natural reflex, like because it's fight or flight, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Some people flee and some people stand up and go, no, fuck this.
I'm sure some people are just complete cunts about it anyway, and they know that they're going to punch.
Probably, yeah.
I reckon there are definitely some people who like even just a really heavy shove would be like,
the final
yeah, probably.
That we went to on that Fort Park one was the Walking Dead experience. So they had like Negan and in front of the van lights, and you all had to kneel down, and he would do the bat round, and then the lights came up, but then all of a sudden there's one bloke's an actor, but then all of a sudden he's beating the living, like he's crushed the man's head, because all of a sudden he's just fucking hit, like there's brains all over the floor, and it's really good. But then you have to like kind of get out of the maze with the zombies coming in. It's really fucking good, really good experience that was.
I'd love to know how to do that.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That
I'd love to know how
sounds
to do
really
that.
good. Yeah, we should all go and do something like that. That'd be really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if the Walking Dead,
100%,
they bring the
because-
Walking Dead one back again, I'd definitely be off doing that.
do a bear theme.
Oh no, well, I was
Oh, we could do a bear themed one, yes. We could
Are you
do.
going to wear the costume, Bleach?
I was
'Cause I would
speaking
definitely punch you.
to Shadow earlier. I was saying if we do, or if this does kind of grow at all, what we do is for the next Halloween is we'll film our own mediocre Exorcist film. I'll get a little wig out and a dress.
Yeah,
Just start thinking about.
I'm not being funny. We could full on do Blair Witch Project because there's like woods opposite my house, like literally
Yeah,
over the road. There's
Let's
some
go-
woods.
let's
If
go
we get any
Daringwoods.
bigger than
Let's go
this,
to the
then
Screaming
we'll,
Woods.
we'll recreate a load of horror film scenes.
So if you want to see that,
we do.
crush that like button.
Like and subscribe.
Smash that like button. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Of other like fucking shitty horror films there were. Because have you
I
guys
know one.
seen what's it fucking Midsummer?
I haven't seen that. No. I know it's by the
I
same
haven't
guy who
seen it yet.
directed Hereditary, but I haven't seen it.
It was
I
the same
wanted
guy.
to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
I
Same
fucking
guy.
hated it. I fucking hated it.
Yeah, apparently that's a slow burn.
It's weird. It's like it's not a bad film. It's weird. Like the emotions I was feeling, I just felt pure hatred the whole way through it.
Right.
And I was like, you fucking
I'm planning on watching it in
Yeah.
the next week or so.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'd like to see that film.
the whole way through, I was just seething at
Yeah.
the characters. I was like, you fucking idiot.
So what about you guys? What would your least favorite or worst horror film be that you've seen?
I would.
Sorry,
You go.
I've got-
I
yeah,
can't
sorry,
remember
man.
the.
Mine's
I can't
two.
remember the
Well,
name.
yeah,
I'm gonna
two.
look it up.
I watched. I went through a phase of looking at the like the cheap DVDs in Tesco to see what horror films were kind of there, and then I'll go and have a look or see if I can watch them online. But the how was it Grave Encounters? That's where I found that film. I fucking it was just dreadful.
Great film.
I mean, like there were some scary bits, but I was like, my god, this is so bad. And Creep Van, where the van, the
Creep
murderous
Van,
van
yes.
that kills people.
I haven't seen. I've only seen the trailer.
So there's one scene, and
Okay.
it's basically a bloke in the van, and the woman leans her head forwards to speak to him, and he does the window up and chops her head off. And but doesn't cut it off with a knife. He does it with the window because
Classy
he's
move.
got blades on the top of the window. It's all very shit.
That sounds dreadful.
Have
might-
you seen Rubber?
No.
Yeah. It is a lone tire that rolls around the desert that kills people.
Get the fuck out.
It's an hour and a half long.
An hour and a
Right.
half.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
The
That sounds
tire
great.
just rolls along and it will look at someone, it will start
Oh,
shaking,
I
and the
love
person
that.
will just explode.
That's great. I'm watching that this week.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mine would have to be. Was it
yeah,
called
yeah.
Friend Request? It's the one. It's not the one based on Skype.
You
Because
talking
that's
about
actually
the
quite
film
good.
that
The
had
one where they were all on
the
Skype was
ending
actually
in the
quite good.
trailer. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that me, you, and Stuart went to go see. It's fucking dumb. The dumbest fucking film I think I've ever seen in my life. It's basically like
What was the ending of it?
It's
Oh,
not spoiler,
It's
it's in the
dog shit,
fucking
just say
trailer.
it. I don't
Oh no,
really
I'm happy to spoil. I don't. People should not go and see this film. Like it's dreadful. But like, it's essentially girl in high school is like this loner girl, doesn't have any friends on Facebook. This one girl takes sympathy on her, adds her on Facebook, then unfriends her because she's a bit too weird, and then she, I think the girl who was the loner, she then kills herself and then starts haunting people through Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah,
And, like, I think I
recognise
mentioned this. I think I've mentioned this a
it.
few weeks ago, but like, yeah. And then it's just, and then in the trailer they show a clip of the main character with her hood up, looking at the camera, all menacing, and that is literally the last shot of the film because the twist is she becomes the new loner girl who's then going to start haunting people via Facebook. It's like they showed it in the fucking trailer. So as soon as it all started, about half hour in, I sat down, I just got like, I think I know how this is going to end. Like, but it's so dumb. It is so unbelievably stupid. And I've about a good,
Yeah.
it was an hour and 45 minutes. I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm never getting that time back.
The
Like
Skype
ever.
one was good though.
So
I thought.
fucking stupid. Skype one was great.
Oh,
Unfriended.
yeah, I wanted to see that one.
Unfriended. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Doesn't someone get their hand fucking shoved in a blender in that?
Yes.
Yeah, that looked fucking terrifying.
I would say that if you're gonna watch Unfriended, watch it on like a laptop or on your computer, or sit at your desk and watch it on your computer
Yeah.
because that will actually make it more immersive. Because
Mm.
after a while, you genuinely forget you're watching the film, and you'll go like it's something scary goes, and you'll go to a fucking closed Skype, and you realize you can't do it. Like, what about you, Helen? Is there like what's like the worst horror film you've probably seen?
Again, I haven't seen loads of horror films. What I will say, I don't know if this kind of counts, but have you seen? Have any of you seen The Village?
Yeah.
No, but I know. Yeah, I know what happens in the end. It's M. Night Shyamalan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very disappointing because when I went to
shit.
see it, I thought it was going to be more of a horror film,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't. And I guess I don't know. I guess if I rewatched it, knowing like it's more of a thriller, it might be a better film. And if you go into it knowing that, but I went into watching it thinking it was going to be like a horror film. It
There's
just fucking wasn't, and I was like, well,
apparently he's
just
come
really
out
disappointing.
since.
It was just
Apparently he's
really-
come out since and said that he regrets how the film was marketed because they marketed the film. All the trailers made, like you said, made it look like it was going to be
Yeah.
a really scary monster film.
yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like a period love story, like
Yeah,
with a little
and
bit
then
of thriller in there, and just
and I mean, I'll say the end because it was released in 2004.
Spoiler alert.
I think most people who are going to see it have seen it. But like, and in the end, it turns out it's not even a period.
No,
romance, whatever,
It's
Mike.
modern day, isn't it?
It's just a blind girl in an Amish village in the middle of like the fucking town.
there's just some really dumb shit in that film as well, though. Where like after they explain that, like again spoilers, but it's been out for years. But like it after they revealed the fact that the monsters weren't real, it was people it was the village people dressing up
Yeah.
to discourage people from leaving. They reveal that, but then like a couple of scenes later, there's a scene where like one of the main girls, you see her in the woods hiding from one of the monsters, and it's like, but she knows by this point that it's not real. So why is she hiding and being scared? Like,
I guess she's still hiding from the people because they don't want to catch her. She
I
doesn't wanna
don't
get
know.
caught
It's been a
somehow,
while since I've seen it, but
but
that's
it's
why I
like,
remember a bit.
it wasn't a good. What was a good film? It's a good bad film, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Is let me just find the name of it.
Whilst Haynes thinking of that film, I watched one on Netflix. On the Netflix. How old am I? Yeah, on the
You sound like a
Netflix.
granddad. I was watching the Netflix the other day.
Do you know
On
was it the
internet.
actor? He's in Green Street. Rafe. Yeah. So he's made Rafe Spall.
Yeah.
Rafe,
His name? Yes, it is.
Rafe Spall.
The Ritual.
He's
He's got a horror film on there.
Ooh.
Quite a good film actually. He's actually quite surprised me because he's the guy who can't count in Green
I
Street.
did.
And then all of a sudden,
He's always the one that goes like,
Fox.
fast train, don't stop till Manchester.
Fox.
And he plays the same character in every fucking film. It's like, oh, it's that guy from Green. That was
Yeah.
another series of films that started off really good, and by the time they were doing Green Street
Yeah.
3, like England, and it was like about national football. It was like, this is
Fuck's
some
sake.
fucking bullshit.
Did you? I did start
But
watching.
sorry, quickly, Mike.
oh, go on.
The film that is like one of those really bad horror films, but it's like it's a good film to watch. Like if you go into it thinking this is like one of those terrible films, it's a great film. It's called Dog Soldiers. It's about like a bunch of guys in the SAS who are on like exercise, like doing an exercise in like the woods, and they start getting fucking attacked by werewolves, and like their car gets fucked up, so they can't get out, and they're like holed up in this house, and it's like this terrible,
It's a
terrible
great-
film,
what a
but
film.
it's so good. It's like
fucking love the great.
It's
so
like that
good.
same film, mate.
One man versus a
Liam
pack of
Neeson
wolves.
instead of SAS soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
no
a
one's
bit
got a machine gun,
like-
you know,
the only man who could take on some SAS soldiers, Liam Neeson. But yeah, well, I have started
Is that any
watching
good?
The Haunting
I've
of
seen
Bly Manor
some-
on Netflix. It's the first
No.
episode. The first episode was 55 minutes long. I got 40 minutes into it, and I'll be honest, I had to turn it off because one, I was a
Oh,
little
right,
bit bored,
okay.
and two, the little girl was getting on my fucking nerves. But I'm going to stick with it because apparently it gets better. But like, as far as kid actors go, she has got
Oh,
the
right, okay.
most annoying English accent I've ever heard. And she keeps saying, I know she's meant to be creepy, and there are little things where you're like, she's gonna get really creepy in a few episodes. But for now, she's just really irritating. So I'm gonna try and go back to it at some
That
point.
and a
So I've heard it
suggestion
gets really
for,
good.
a horror film on Netflix is Ouija, Origin of Evil.
Yeah, I've heard about. I've
That-
heard
Like,
mixed things
we
about
talk
Ouija, but I do want to
kid
give it a
actors
watch.
being fucking
Make
creepy.
my mind up.
The girl in that is the weirdest.
Yeah,
It's just fucking. It's just she does it. She plays that thing so well, like being kind of not possessed.
yeah.
Yeah. Just watch it, give it a go. It's fucking quality.
Yeah.
film.
I have to add it to the
Nice.
list.
Nice.
Guys, I'm conscious of the time. Did we
Yeah.
want to?
Oh, Christ. Yeah.
Unless anybody has anything,
I didn't even realise
you know,
we've been speaking for an hour and 45
pressing they
minutes.
want
That is
to
mental.
bring up.
Yeah, that's flown, that's
Flies, doesn't
flown
it?
by.
Flies.
I have a lovely Halloween, I suppose, and stay safe and watch out for
Disinfect your
people injecting
sweets.
your chocolate with drugs. Is the story you get told every year?
Make
Disinfecting
sure,
sweets,
yeah, make sure they're not putting any Nickelback CDs in your.
Talking shit about Nickelback. I would say, I tell you what, good idea, good thing to end on. If you could recommend the viewers at home one scary film to watch this Halloween, what would it be? I'm gonna go and say Hereditary.
I
But what everyone else recommend?
Rec 2, if you haven't seen it, I would say it's a bit of an older film, but I thought it was. We went to see it in the cinema, and it's Spanish language, so you will have to watch it with subtitles. But it was really good.
I'd say if you want a good
Seconded.
jump scare, The Conjuring 2, if you haven't seen that already, is also a great shout.
I can't think of any, so I'm going to go for a bit of a classic. I don't know how well it's aged, but this guy told me.
Yeah, that's quite a good shout.
Cabin
It's quite a good
Fever?
film.
Cabin Fever. I don't think I've seen that.
I've got that on DVD somewhere, and I've never watched it.
There you go.
I remember it really freaking me the fuck out, but it might be now that I'm actually like older and I'm not a
Yeah.
fucking idiot. It's probably not even that scary. But I remember I hated it when I was younger because it scared.
That's your entertainment for tonight, sort of.
Yep,
You can let us know how it is next week.
yeah, if I haven't been murdered by whatever fucking ghost or whatever the fuck is in that film. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the podcast, definitely smash follow, and so you get notifications when we're next going live. All of the vlogs,
Highlights.
I guess,
Yep.
and highlights will be going up on our YouTube channel. Bleach, I don't know if you want to plug that or drop a link or something.
Yep. From now on, there will be a link in the channel just below to the YouTube channel where we post all the highlights and all the past VODs at a delay. So if you watch it live, you're always going to see it here first. But if you ever want to look back and see the top moments, it will always be on the YouTube channel. Working
I would
Overtime
say thank
podcast.
you to Jake Crump for following as well. Big shout out.
Shout out, Jake. What a dude.
Top man Jake. Cool. Also check out all of our Twitch channels if you enjoyed this and you want to get a bit more of us, maybe individually. I don't know if you guys want to plug your Twitch channels or if we're quite happy with the little
you've had an
overlay
hour
we've got
to
going on
check
here.
right out.
It's on
so-
screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just have a look below.
I am currently doing a Let's Play of Outlast 2, so that is a horror game in highlight of the old Halloween. There's something on topic there for you.
There you go.
Yeah, so check that out, guys. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the follows. And we'll see you guys soon. See you later.
Happy Halloween.